Today we are going to study The Lost Jewels by Rabindranath Tagore. Let us understand what actually the story is all about with a little theme, the message what the author is trying to give, and a little bit about Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore was the youngest son of his father and he has won many prizes for his writing. He basically started his career in writing for Bengalis. But later on he started writing in English and he has won Nobel Prize in 1933. This story, The Lost Jewels, is a mystical satire of a woman who is really fond of her jewelry. Here the author tries to explain everybody that women, no matter what, or even when their husbands are in dire need of money, they actually are really fond of jewelry. They cannot part ways with their jewelry. So in this, there are three characters vividly played up in the whole of the story. Let us go through this theme. In The Lost Jewels, 1898, the story opens with the narrator stopping by a village ghat with his big boat and being accosted by a local schoolmaster with such an unnatural brightness in his large eyes that the narrator is compelled to comment, "He made me think of the ancient mariner of the English poet Coleridge." The reference to the Coleridge ancient mariner not only situates the narrator in this story in the milieu of middle class Bengali Bhadralok with their love of their English literature and the schoolmaster as one possibly with as unusual a story to relate as the ancient mariners, but also anticipates the postmodern discourses regarding intertextuality cutting across linguistic, racial and cultural differences way back in 1898. Now, accordingly, here the poet or the author tries to explain us that in the whole of the story, the woman, Mani, is basically saying a no, indirect no, and showing a cold face to her husband who is in genuine love with her and is in dire need of her jewelry. But as she says a cold no to him, he refuses to take care of her jewelry and moves to Calcutta to make some more money. In the meanwhile, when Mani realizes that her husband is already in a bad phase, is no more financially independent, she moves out with her cousin Modu and is now nowhere to see. The whole act is played around these two satirical characters, wherein in the end we come to know the mystery of a female who is missing and missing with her jewelry with her cousin. The schoolmaster then tells the story of Pani Bhushan Saha, an educated, enlightened businessman, and his barren wife Mani Malika. The story of their presumably in the dilapidated mansion. Dilapidated means broken, not very well built. Mansion behind them, and their unnatural, mysterious death by drowning in the river in front, and it turns out to be a story about Mani Malika's ghost. However, as the schoolmaster finishes telling the story, there is darkness and silence all around, and then he says that the gentleman apparently does not believe his story. When asked back whether he himself believed in the story just concluded, the schoolmaster replies that he does not, because Dame Nature does not have the leisure to write stories. And secondly, the gentleman in the boat interrupts to inform him that his own name is Pani Bhushan Saha. Without showing any embarrassment, the schoolmaster says that he had guessed that and wants to know the real name of Pani Bhushan's wife. The answer is Nrityakali. The whole game about names at the end of the story hinges on the false name the gentleman had given to the schoolmaster at the beginning of their conversation. As he had proclaimed to the readers then that the name he had given was a deliberate falsification. Now, at the end, there is no guarantee that he is not uttering the name of Nrityakali with his tongue in cheek. Whether the story's Pani Bhushan was really fictitious or gentleman's claim to be the real Pani Bhushan is another lie. The complex questions regarding these issues indicate that there are multiple possible interpretations of the nature of truth and fiction in this ending. Such ambiguity invites varied response from readers, and this open ending is a mark of postmodern narrative strategy. Now, the whole story is revolving around a schoolmaster illustrating the story of Pani Bhushan and his wife and their relationship in front of a dilapidated house to a traveler who has just visited the ghats of the village. Here, the schoolmaster tries to illustrate the whole scene to the